Breezy winds, dry fields, and low humidity are making for pretty dangerous fire conditions across north central Texas. We'll talk more about it after this. I appreciate the pictures that you all have sent in showing how dry it is across our area. This picture from Joshua over between Maypearl and Waxahachie. You can see how short the grass is in the foreground, but there's plenty of brown there. But look at this pasture. Look at this longer grass here. Plenty of brown out there, very dry. This would just be fuel for any kind of grass fire that would begin. And then as winds increase over the next several days, it would just spread very quickly across a field like this, or really any of the fields across the South Metro area. Temperatures are warm. We're at 102, 103 degrees, and then overnight tonight, 77, 78. Now the good news is we don't have quite as much humidity, so those heat index values are not as oppressive, but it's still warm across the area. And we do have those heat advisories. So no advisory for Navarro County, but Ellis, Johnson, and Hill included in that, and it just keeps going to the west. No excessive heat warnings here. We're not getting up to 110 in those heat index values or 105 in the air temperatures. So there's at least something good out of it. It's not quite as quite as oppressive, I'll say, as it was over the last couple of weeks, but it's still uncomfortable out there, and that fire danger will be increasing there, which is why we have these burn bans. Navarro, Hill, and Johnson included in that. Ellis County, not yet. Now, they're meeting today, the Commissioner's Court. By the time this is posted, they're probably getting ready to do that, and I suspect that Ellis County will probably adopt a burn ban today. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. But any of those burn bans that are out there need to be taken very, very seriously. I mean, we are looking at very volatile conditions, and we're not looking at any kind of respite from that. This high pressure system, and you can clearly see it on the water vapor here, we won't get any of this moisture that's moving in from Iowa and Missouri and Oklahoma and Arkansas there. We may get some clouds out of this. As we look at the visible satellite, you can kind of see that. You can see those clouds kind of moving southward, but not really much. So not much protection from the sun, not much to help us from those fire dangers, those risks. And the northern flow here is keeping the moisture from moving up from the Gulf of Mexico. So we are in a position where at least the humidity is not as bad, but again, that's a trade-off because lower humidity, fires start easier in that environment. So any kind of benefit we get out of this is almost not really helping us that much. We'll also see the Saharan dust coming up out of the Gulf of Mexico, or really out of the Atlantic, but for us it'll move from that direction. And here's the thing, the trade-off again, there's dust in the air. You get that hazy look in the sky, which nobody really likes, and then the dust that could bother those people who are sensitive. But then you also have the fact that it could bring temperatures down a degree or two because it's cutting off some of those UV rays, and it can make for some pretty sunset. So I'm sure we'll see plenty of pictures of that over the next couple of days. But again, it's one of those things where there's a trade-off. There's some positives and some negatives. Anytime in the summer in Texas you change anything, and there's positives and negatives, and either way, one thing or another can go extreme in both directions. So when we look at the tropics here, not much happening there. It's pretty calm overall. We've been watching this system, but that Saharan dust, all that dry air, has really kept that system from developing much. We have another one here just off the coast of Cuba there, west of Florida. About a 20% chance, but it doesn't really have a lot of space to do much. So not expecting too much out of the tropics overall for us. So as we look at the forecast, again, it's pretty much the same thing. It's going to start feeling like Groundhog Day out there. Today, 102, southwest wind 5 to 10, and then you see this haze here. I've got the haze for that Saharan dust coming in. 103 Wednesday, 101, could be probably, I should bump that up to 102 for Thursday, 102 Friday, 103 Saturday and Sunday, and 104 for Monday. So it stays warm, but we do have increasing fire risk. You see southwest winds of 5 to 10 here, then 10 to 15 across most of the rest of the week, and it looks like winds could calm down a little bit over the weekend, over Sunday, Monday, but it doesn't look too sure at this point. We'll have to watch that and see if those winds are going to calm down or if maybe they're going to stay where they are. But either way, the fire risk is increasing. That really kind of needs to be our focus, along with just staying out of the heat and staying out of the sun. So stay safe out there, and I'll continue to bring updates throughout the week on the burn bans, the Saharan dust, and all the different things that we're looking at over the great state of Texas in summer. We're used to this, but that doesn't mean it's not dangerous. So stay safe out there and use precautions where needed.